Hello and welcome to your 10:30 p.m. English news broadcast live on ERi-TV. It's exactly 10:30 p.m. on Eritrea's local time from our headquarters at Asmara with your domestic and international news in brief. I'm Zahra Badouri, but first we'll begin with your major headlines for this broadcast. Eritrean national team secures more medals. Congress of Vegetables and Fruit Farmers Association, and more. EU, Iran, and world powers were very close to an agreement. Geneva and Switzerland, Syria constitutional talks fails again. Welcome to your domestic in brief. The Eritrean cycling national team that is taking part at the African Championship in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, secures more medals. At the females junior category race that was held today, covering 64.2 kilometers, Eritrea won silver medal through Roman Guish, while South Africa took the gold and Rwanda the bronze medal. At the men's junior category that covered 85.8 kilometers, Eritrean cyclists Yuel Habtab and Akhlilu Arafaina clinched gold and silver medals respectively. Accordingly, in the four-day competitions, Eritrea has collected 6 gold, 6 silver, and 2 bronze medals. The African Cycling Championship 2022 will conclude tomorrow with both genders elite and under-23 road race competitions. At the third Congress, the Vegetables and Fruit Farmers Association in Digge subzone, conducted on 15th March, reported that it will exert strong effort to double-fold vegetables and fruit production and supply within the market. Mr. Yusuf Demir, chairman of the association, said that the association that was established in the year 2016 has 249 members and is earnestly working to boost production and supply within the market with vegetables and fruit with fair price, including indicating that the area is suitable for irrigation farming and that farmers are engaged in vegetables and fruit farming in groups and in individual level. Mr. Hamad Ayla, administrator of the subzone, called on those engaged in the activity to properly use the natural resources within the area. Ambassador Mahmoud Ali Hurui, governor of the Gashbarka region, on his part, commended the effort that the farmers are exerting to boost vegetables and fruit production, expresses readiness of the regional administration to stand alongside the association in all its endeavors. On your proceeding domestic, at a seminar, Mr. Alam Saggad Tasfai, author and historian, conducted on 25th March to Youth Workers Organization in the port city of Massawa, called for reinforced effort to develop the understanding of youth on the concept of nation and nationalism, indicating that the strong Eritrean identity and nationalism had a big role in consisting and defeating external conspiracies and aggression. Mr. Alam Saggad Tasfai said that history of Eritrea and its people are a vivid example that a nation could not be realized without national identity. Stressing on the importance of understanding the outstanding history of Eritrea and its people, Mr. Alam Saggad called for properly documenting the factual history of the country and the trying times that the Eritrean people have to go through and the heavy sacrifice paid and transfer it to prosperity. The participants on their part called for exerting strong effort to inculcate the culture of reading, for republishing and distributing history books, and transfer the history books into documentary films. On your final domestic, students and teachers in Duwarawa subzone voluntarily donated blood from 22nd to 24th of this March, indicating that the objective of the program was to use the resources that is available in schools with a view to enrich the supply of blood, and that with the initiative, the students and teachers in Duwarawa subzone took over 340 units of blood has been collected. The voluntary blood donors on their part expressed satisfaction for being part of the voluntary blood donors and called on others to follow their noble example. Up next with your international news, do stay with us for more. And on your global report, the European Union's top diplomat Joseph Borrell said on Saturday, March 26, today, that Iran and world powers were very close to an agreement on reviving their 2015 nuclear deal, which would curb Tehran's nuclear program in exchanging for lifting through sanctions. Borrell told the audience of the Doha Forum International Conference said that now they are very close to an agreement, and hopefully it will be possible because now that they are discussing about collateral issues that have nothing to do with the core of the nuclear deal. The nuclear deal talks had been closed to an agreement until Russia had made last-minute demands of the United States, insisting that sanctions imposed on Moscow over its invasion of Ukraine should not affect its trade with Iran. Enrique Mora, the EU coordinator for the nuclear talks, said on Friday he will travel to Tehran on Saturday to meet Iran's chief negotiator. With international focus on the war in Ukraine, a resolution to Syria's war continues to be further than ever as talks between the Syrian government and the opposition once again broke down. The United Nations playing host in Geneva on Friday to the latest attempt to draft a new Syrian constitution, but talks ended with no substantial progress, frustrating hopes for a revival of the sluggish peace process. The Constitutional Committee, a body including regime, opposition, and civil society members, was formed in 2019 and tasked with finding a common ground on issues like state identity, governance, and the structure of public authorities, among others. But opposition members blamed representatives of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad government for the last round's failure. A spokesperson for Hadi al-Bahra, the head of the opposition, told Al Jazeera, saying that they are unsatisfied with the government's engagement and that there has been no meaningful progress. The Constitutional Committee is yet to decide on whether it will amend the existing constitution or produce a new one. Analysts, however, say that the prolonged debate about the Constitution, despite the prevalence of constitutional reform, is stalling progress on other important tracks and jeopardizing the whole peace process. On your final report, heavy rains pounded Peru on Thursday, March 24th, causing rivers to overflow and highways to flood. Rain battered the north town of Lajas in Cajamarca province, flooding streets and cutting off traffic in areas where neither vehicle nor mass transit could be through. Authorities said the torrential rains left dozens of houses flooding and destroyed. Residents have demanded the authorities to clean the stem beds and draining to avoid new floods. Local authorities have no official report on injuries or deaths after this flood. Dear viewers, that is all for now with your domestic and international news in brief. Until we are back with some more news, stay and enjoy the rest of our programs. But until then, these were your top and exclusive headlines for this broadcast in review. Eritrean national cycling team secures more medals. Congress for Vegetables and Fruit Farmers Association, and more. And on your international, Iran and world powers very close to an agreement. Syria's constitutional talks fails again in Geneva, Switzerland, and more with Peru flood. That is all for now. Thanks for watching and have a nice one.